To predict nature's fury or respond to our worst disasters, to advance our energy future, to protect public health, to guard against invasive species and improve the way we grow our food. This is the innovative work of the 2012 recipients of the CoLab's Governor's Award for High Impact Research.
A lot of our work is really to try to take all this great research that's being done here at Colorado State University and develop these applications that are directly used by forecasters to help make better forecasts.
They are among our planet's most powerful storms. Hurricane prediction is the crucial work of scientists at Colorado State University's Cooperative Institute for Research in the Atmosphere and the Department of Atmospheric Science.
We have ways to kind of simulate the satellite data before it's launched, and then we can test that data and be ready to use it as soon as the new satellites are actually launched.
The technologies researched and developed here are improving hurricane forecasting. Tracking, storm surge, and intensity predictions are more accurate than ever.
The satellites can measure the amount of heat that's contained within the ocean, not just at the surface, but down, say, a couple hundred feet.
We have people working on intensity change, which is a really tough problem. We have people working on these more statistical models that show probabilities versus a deterministic one single track. And so we're really a collaborative effort here.
Collaboration with a common goal to get more accurate storm warnings to the public when time is of the essence. The storm path and intensity are key.
Being able to forecast the track, of course, you know where to evacuate, where to warn people, or if it's over the ocean, you know how to steer ships out of the way. The intensity tells you how many people you need to evacuate, and also gives you an idea of how big the storm surge is going to be, where you need to do the coastal evacuations and so on.
The progress so far is astonishing, but there's more work to be done. And this team is committed to ever advancing our forecasting capabilities to save lives and protect property.
I feel very passionately about hurricanes. I grew up in Florida. I have a lot of family who are directly impacted by hurricanes, and it just really has become my mission to do anything I can to help people make better hurricane forecasts and get that communication out to people who need it.
When an explosion destroyed the Deepwater Horizon drilling platform and sent oil gushing into the Gulf of Mexico, scientific data was critical to determine the response and assess the damage.
Fortuitously, we had a research aircraft fully instrumented with measurements that are relevant to this kind of a spill. We had spent years getting ready and months actually integrating into the aircraft.
A team of scientists from the NOAA Earth System Research Laboratory and the Cooperative Institute for Research in Environmental Sciences was in California working on an air quality and climate study. As plumes of smoke from the Deepwater Horizon platform and the resulting oil slick billowed into the sky, the team was called into action.
Our research aircraft is like a flying laboratory. It has 25, 30 different instruments, but only just 5 people operating these instruments. Most of the people stay on the ground and they wait anxiously for the plane to return.
The ground team was on the ready to analyze data collected in canisters on board.
Typically we sample through some outside air through a window plate.
The aircraft surveyed the atmosphere near the source of the spill and the surrounding Gulf. The team measured carbon dioxide, ozone, particulate matter, and more.
We measure meteorological variables like wind speed and direction to understand where things are coming from.
When we compared the chemical composition of the oil vapors with the oil itself, we noticed that there was a very close correlation, except that some compounds were actually missing from the atmosphere.
By quantifying those compounds, the team estimated the amount of oil leaking far below the ocean surface. The flow rate showed the magnitude of the spill, vital information for responders.
So they can better understand exposure to potentially affected habitats, ecosystems, and even populations.
The rapid response and independent, accurate data from the airborne sampling during the Deepwater Horizon disaster is now available to assess our most urgent environmental challenges due to offshore oil spills anywhere in the world.
I'm very proud of what we did and accomplished.
The The National Renewable Energy Laboratory is advancing the technologies that will drive our next generation cars and trucks. The batteries that power our electric vehicles must perform.
What we're doing with lithium batteries is we're decreasing the cost, increasing the cycle life, and making them safer.
For these batteries, heat is a huge issue.
When batteries get too hot, they can go into thermal runaway. And thermal runaway is basically a euphemism for they explode.
NREL's large volume battery calorimeter is the world's only test chamber large enough to measure the heat generated by these advanced vehicle batteries with exceptional precision.
The game changer here is that we have a device here that be able to measure the heat exactly so that the designer can build an accurate thermal management system around it so that it prevents it from going to overheating or over temperature.
These clamping assemblies come up, clamp down on the lid, and then what we do is we flood the entire chamber with isothermal bath fluid.
NREL is moving this technology to the market. The large volume battery calorimeter is an essential tool for the industry as it designs electric vehicle batteries for optimum performance.
The large volume battery calorimeter, that technology was licensed by NECH, and NECH is an instrument supplier, a scientific instrument supplier here in the United States and throughout the world.
And hopefully someday they be all in every battery lab, one of these units in there.
It is the most common vector-borne disease in this country. Lyme disease is transmitted from ticks to humans.
There's approximately 30,000 cases a year of Lyme, and if it's undiagnosed and untreated, it can lead to pretty severe complications.
There is no vaccine for Lyme disease, but researchers at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention made a pivotal discovery.
We became interested in the complex interaction between the bacteria and the tick vector and the hosts that it infects.
The Gilmore lab discovered that this gene called BBA64 that's in the Lyme disease bacterium, when inactivated, can prevent ticks from transmitting the Lyme disease bacterium into the animal it's feeding on.
In lab studies, when the BBA64 gene is inactivated, the bacteria that cause the Lyme infection are rendered useless, something that hadn't been seen before.
Big discoveries are few and far between, so when you get one, it's really exciting.
Identifying this gene could one day lead to the development of a vaccine to prevent Lyme disease.
Treatment or vaccine against Lyme disease would be a great breakthrough for public health.
They are invasive freshwater mussel species capable of multiplying at staggering rates and attacking their environments with devastating consequences, and they've been found in Colorado.
Any infrastructure that touches the water is a potential place where mussels can attack and infest, and that can complicate the operations of our facilities, and particularly our hydroelectric facilities.
They impact our fisheries. They basically disrupt the food chain because each female can lay 30,000 eggs.
The Bureau of Reclamation, Environmental Applications and Research Group, Invasive Mussel Research Laboratory is the front line of defense against these infestations. Researchers here analyze water samples from throughout the western United States to look for quagga and zebra mussel larvae.
And then if we have an indication that there's a positive, we do a second scanning electron microscope test, and we do PCR or DNA testing to confirm whether or not the mussel is there.
This early warning system can give us up to several years of advance warning that an infestation might ultimately occur.
This detection and monitoring program allows water managers to act at the first sign of larvae to stop and prevent infestations. Boat inspections and cleanings can slow the spread of invasive mussels that can quickly pile up, remove nutrients from the water, and clog the infrastructure that moves this precious resource through the dry West.
It's very disturbing to me that these animals would, threaten the West, the natural West as I know it.
Computer modeling of cropping systems is giving agriculture unprecedented access to information to better manage valuable water, improve yields, and increase sustainability.
I think that in this 21st century, when we have the computers easily available, the information technology available, modeling needs to be an important part that should be integrated with our field experimental research.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture Agricultural Research Service developed the Root Zone Water Quality Model. The model looks at the effects of climate changes, crop rotations, pesticides, and water allocations, among others, on food crops.
So the model allows you within, a very short period of time, we're talking minutes, of getting the data that will say, this is the kind of yield variability you would expect, and you can reduce that variability if you use this management technique or you sequence the crops in this particular rotation.
Scientists and field researchers work hand in hand to test and validate data from the models. Modeling is proving to be a truly meaningful tool for food producers around the globe.
Their comments generally are very encouraging. They use the data to change their systems so that they're more environmentally friendly. They use their resources better and smarter.
I would say that modeling has a very, very important role to play in agriculture research and management.
The work of these outstanding scientists, the winners of the 2012 CoLab's Governor's Award for High Impact Research, is leading edge. It is impacting our lives and our most important resources.